All right, so that's a beautiful tune right there by 5 featuring the man who really brought the kind of rap that Patapa is now moving up and about with and making so much money with at T2i's. So it's a throwback Thursday, but today it's a Thursday, and we as well host the aspirants every Thursday when we come on the show Rush Hour in the studios of TNT. So today we are blessed to have a brilliant man, our boss, and he's a CEO and then founder of the Train2inspire Consultancy. He's a TV and radio show host. I mean, the title and everything is so big. But this great man we are talking about has engaged a lot of youth in Europe and Africa in transformational speaking, and then he has trained and then coached several business executives from CEOs to the top floor assistants. And I mean, he's done tremendously well in the industry, and then he has also, helped groom a lot of people in the business space. We talk of a man. I don't know. He's a very great man, but he's sitting right here with us, so we are going to tap into his knowledge. I don't know whether or not if there is job on the market now. So we have here Oscar Bimpong, the great man.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Oscar.
I'm truly humbled.
I mean,
your accolades is overwhelming, but I will just take it in good faith.
I mean, but it does not end there. He is also an author.
Of course, yes.
I mean,
thank you.
You see, this is a big man we are talking about. So I would urge you to get a pen and a book. Not a small book, because he's going to pour everything out this morning on the show, so that you can pick you from everything that he's going to help teach us, or we are going to learn from him this morning. But before we start our conversation, he has a quote, and we are going to start our conversation with his particular quote that he gave some time ago. And one of Oscar's quotes says that during certain periods of our lives, we may listen to a particular song that touches our hearts so much that we end up repeating the song for the umpteenth time. My question is, how would you know the next song will also touch your heart if you don't allow the playlist to flow?
Interested.
I know that definitely you react to this, because this is actually coming from you. So
Exactly. I think the idea behind this quote was in terms of comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes we settle at a particular level in our life where we think we have arrived and we cannot move to the next level, and we think we are comfortable. We are getting whatever we want.
Yeah.
If our ambition is to get a house and we have got a house, our ambition is to drive that car and we've got a car, then what is next? Then the next level, there's no next level. I'm just okay. So you don't give yourself an opportunity to go to the next level. The question is, how are you going to even know that getting to the next level is going to be another amazing experience?
Sure.
So you have to allow your playlist to play it. Though you like that song, but don't replay that song for the umpteenth time, neglecting the other songs not to play, because you might never know. Probably you might like the next song.
Wow. I mean, you see, we don't miss words when we say that this man is going to pour a lot of knowledge here this morning. So stay with us, and you can also join us on our social media handles. And having him, and we are talking about, equipping the youth for the job market. You can, we'll activate the phone lines along the line, so that perhaps you can put one or two questions that you want answers, you demand answers to, as we are talking to Oscar Bimpong. But talking about allowing the playlist to flow and everything, now we are talking about equipping the youth for the job market. Yes. First of all, let's look at the job market. Are there really jobs on the market?
This is a yes and a no. Are there really jobs on the market? It's a yes and a no. But before I go on that, I'm going to give you some few statistics so that we get an overview of actually what is in place. Now, I did the research and I realized that according to the UNDP report, the formal sector of Ghana can only absorb only 2% of our graduates on an annual basis. So it means 2%. 2%. And 2% means that where will the 98% go to? Meaning that they should go for the informal sector.
Sure.
So the question is that, is the informal sector, has it been positioned to even accept them? So this is the first step. We can make decision based on what I've said now. Then we have got about 138 tertiary institutions in the country, and that's both the public and the private sector.
Okay.
And at the moment, we have over 320,000 of students covering all batches in our tertiary institutions.
320,000.
Over 320,000.
Over 320,000.
Covering all the batches. That's first year, second year, third year, fourth year.
Okay.
So we have got 320,000. Now, with the new free SHS, they are graduating next year.
Sure.
And we have got 400,000 that are going to graduate next year. So meaning that 400,000 is more than all the four batches that are already existing.
In the tertiary.
The question is that, have we put measures in place to accommodate such numbers?
That's a very big question.
So I think the no outweighs the yes.
Yeah.
We are actually sitting on a time bomb. Because if you look at how many students that are churning out, that are coming out of our universities, our tertiary institutions on a yearly basis, it means that we should be very careful to really create a platform to integrate these young people. Now, I say the yes because when I look at recruitment agencies all over Ghana at the moment, there are always jobs on their website. There are jobs. There are always jobs. They are posting new jobs, meaning that there are jobs in the marketplace. But the question is that, do we have the right people to really go in and absorb those jobs? Because the no aspect is that there is a skills gap between academia and industry.
Okay.
These young people finish school and they don't have the requisite skills that can integrate them into the marketplace.
And why is it so?
It is so because, you see, I always say that the intention of the JHS and the SSS has not lived to its expectation. I remember when the JHS came in, I was part of the third batch. And we were doing bricklaying, we were doing vocational skills, we were doing handiworks that on a normal basis, we weren't doing it. Now, where are all those things?
I mean,
so you leave school, you don't have the requisite skills to really integrate into the market. You live as an engineer, but you don't even know how to fix your light bulb.
Engineering books.
Of course. You live as an agriculturist, but you have never handled even a cutlass before. So how can you integrate into the market? And also, we are training people that there are no jobs for them in the marketplace.
Okay.
So, for example, psychology. You do psychology at University of Ghana. How many of our hospitals employ psychologists? How many mental homes do we even have to absorb them? Even at the workplace, the corporate institutions, how many of them for them to even absorb psychologists?
And we have hundreds to thousands of people
being psychologists, and that is on a yearly basis. This is why we have to really be critical about it. On a yearly basis, they are coming out. So if there are no jobs for them, then how can they really integrate into the market? Now, nurses, this current government has absorbed some of them, but still there are some that still don't have jobs.
And we still have some who are going to be graduating.
Right? So we need to be very critical. And for example, if you're a psychologist and you want to enter into the banking industry because there are no jobs for psychologists, you have to understand that the corporate market is going to find it very difficult to employ you because it's very expensive for them to train you.
Yeah, that's it.
So we need to, you see, this I'm very passionate about this discussion because, you see, Africa has got the youngest and the most vibrant youth, and our numbers outnumbers every continent, but they are the most neglected.
Yes, indeed, the most neglected.
So if they are the most neglected and they are coming out and their numbers are increasing, I think, was it 2018? I might be wrong. I think the one of these public institutions, they were looking to employ 500 candidates, and I think over 80,000 people applied.
Yes, 500 candidates.
Yes, I think it was the Immigration Service.
Ghana Immigration Service.
Ghana Immigration Service. They were just looking to employ only 500 candidates. and over 80,000 applied.
Even you look at recently just NAPCO, and then the number of people that the program was, ready to absorb, and the number of people who applied for NAPCO.
Exactly.
It tells you that. And from that year on up to now, we have a number of thousands of people graduating again, and lots of people are waiting now for NAPCO to start recruitment again.
I did training for NAPCO Medina chapter and Adenta chapter last year, and if you look at it, these are just two, let's say, constituencies or two communities, and they were in thousands.
Yeah,
and this is where we need to really understand that I think we'll come to that, but we need to create a platform where we can really absorb these young people.
Sure. So it means that with this, there's a role for government to play.
There is a role for government to play. There is a role for the private sector to play. And there's the role for me and you to play as well. The person hunting for jobs. Yes. So now, what must I do if I want to get into the job market? So now, if you want to get into the job market, I'm going to start from how to prepare to get into the job market before I come to what you have to do to get into the job market.
So preparing for the job market.
So preparing for the job market. One, you need to have the right mindset. You see, we Train2inspire Consultancy, we are really bringing a program, and I've done some pilot projects with other universities already here in Ghana. And it's called STEPOUT International Final Year Student Summit. International Final Year Student Summit. We are just targeting tertiary institutions, those in the final years that are about to get into the world market. Now, the school prepares them to really excel in academia, but the school does not prepare them to face the world.
Yeah.
So they excel in getting their first class and second upper. So in their mind, in their subconscious mind, they think in the real world they should get first class. It doesn't work that way.
It's not about getting first class on paper.
No, it doesn't work that way. So you see, the person that have developed themselves probably might be flying, but they got the third class. And you that got the first class might be struggling because you haven't developed yourself. So we are really bringing in this to really help students how they can integrate into the job market. So one, you need to have the right mindset. Having the right mindset meaning that it doesn't matter what it takes. You are just entering the world market to win. It has to be a positive mindset.
So you should be thinking as a winner.
I'm
going to win. I will not accept losing.
Of course. I read Alex Ferguson's book, his autobiography, and he says when the players enter the field, there is only one thing that he tells them, that they should have a winning mentality. That you should have to go there and win. There is no if, there is no but. There is no in between. Like, you have to go and win. So
a win is a must.
Win is a must. You shouldn't have a plan B. Your plan A, your plan B, your plan C, your plan T to Z should be winning mentality. And that is having the right mindset. You should be able to handle rejections. How many rejections can you handle?
Okay.
A say no, B say no, C say no, D say no. Do you give up or you still continue to pursue?
You continue to pursue, and we take inspiration from Jack Ma and others.
But this is where a lot of people give up. Some people, just one no causes them to call back into their shell. They don't even have the capacity to even go out to even look for a job. So you need to be able to understand that rejection is part of your job seeking. And your ability to handle rejection is what is going to really cause you to really achieve that goal. One thing I like about, I do a lot of sales training, and one of the most people who are successful in sales, one of their successful factors is the ability to take rejections and no. That they go for this sale and the person says no. The second one says, so you speak to 100 people and they all say no. Do you go to the one just to make that one sale for the day?
Yeah, you need to allow the playlist to flow.
You need to apply it. But you see, it's easier said than done. When you are in the heat of the moment and you start getting 10 no's, before you realize your spirit is down and you give up. So you need to have that, understand that rejection is part of the process. And also you have to have that persevering and a can-do spirit. Believing
can-do spirit and perseverance.
Yes, perseverance. You need to persevere.
Persevere.
You need to wake up every day and go out there and do what you have to do. If you have to put in 5 applications a day, make sure you do it. If you have to do 2 applications a day, you just have to be consistent. Be consistent with the goals that you have set for yourself. And also learn how to write a good CV. Some people don't even know how to write a good CV. Some people don't even know how to prepare for interviews and proposal writing and business plans.
They don't know how to do it,
yes.
Yet they have first class.
Of course. I think my last 2 interviews before I decided to spend more time in Ghana, in London, I got my job there and there. And I'm going to give this secret just for free for people.
Okay.
What I do is that I'll go to your website, learn about your vision and your mission statement, where you are and where you want to be, what the company is all about. And every question that you ask me, I will use the premise of your company to answer.
Okay.
And I normally get my contract there and there. I don't wait and go back. Why? Because the company is seeing that I understand what actually they want to achieve. Because I'm using, so you ask me about why am I really want to apply for this job? And I will use the vision of your company to answer the question.
Well, that's quite a brilliant advice.
So you see, you need to really learn, and these are some of the skills that Train2inspire Consultancy is bringing to.
But with this one that you just said, the advice you just gave, that you go to your website, learn about the company and what have you. What if the company has no website?
If a company does no website, I don't think it's worth even applying for in this 21st century. A company that does not have a website, then I think they are not ready for business. You should have a website in this 21st century. And to be honest, but even if they don't have a website, you can still call and speak to somebody that is involved in the process. Call the reception and ask you want to speak to anybody in position, and ask questions on the phone, or go there, sit somebody down. Because I believe that if I come here and I want to ask someone or make some inquiries, you will be ready to give me what I need, isn't it?
Okay.
So you can even call and ask for whatever information that you need. And I think everybody will be ready to give you that information. Yeah.
All right.
Then, now back to your question, what do you need to get into the job market?
What do you need to do?
One is personal development. And I like this quote by Jim Rohn. He says, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work harder on yourself, you will make a fortune. But if you work harder on your job, you will make a living. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that having a job is not good. But what he's trying to say is that when you work harder on yourself, you are going to excel. You are going to do better. Yeah. Whatever you want to achieve. And what does it mean by working harder on yourself? It's about your personal development. The word is personal just because it is your sole responsibility.
It is your responsibility.
It's your responsibility.
To develop yourself.
You went to have a degree for 4 years, and it was the responsibility of your lecturers to make sure that they impact knowledge. But your personal development is not a responsibility of a third party. It is your responsibility. Now the question is that after finishing school, how many books have you even read? How many courses have you taken? There are some people after school, the only thing they read is the newspaper.
How many mentoring seminars have you
attended? How many conferences have you attended? You see, sometimes you organize conferences and young people don't attend. But you see, when you go to KFC, they are spending 100 Ghana cedis just for eating chicken and chips.
I mean, it's good.
It tastes good.
What you realize is that in just some few minutes, everything is gone.
Everything is gone.
But the knowledge
is
here.
I always, you see, we are in a dispensation of knowledge. Wherever you are in life, you are just at that level just because your knowledge can take you that level. For you to go to the next level, you need to have a level of knowledge for you to get there.
Sure.
And whatever knowledge you don't know, somebody knows it. So you need to really, really, really understand that, look, you need to invest in yourself. Investment in yourself is key. Then also, what skills do you need to survive in the marketplace? Now, can I ask you this question? How many students do you think have the opportunity to lead at school?
Have the opportunity to lead?
Let's say University of Ghana. How many students do you think will have an opportunity to lead a school.
To be student leaders.
Student leaders compared to the whole population of the student body.
Just a few.
Just a few. I think it should be less than 0.1%.
Just a few.
Just a few. Right? Now the rest, did they have any leadership opportunities? No. Now this is the trick. The moment you leave the corridors of the school, leadership is key for you to survive in the job market. But this is the situation that you have never had the opportunity to lead. So how do you integrate into the job market?
Okay.
This is why we tell students that, look, seek for opportunities to lead in your church, in your community, in your family, even WhatsApp groups. Some WhatsApp groups, if you are admin, you work harder than before you think. Take an opportunity to lead. Harness your leadership skills, because it's very critical for you to succeed in the world market.
Okay.
For you to succeed, you need to start even leading yourself.
Okay. So you need to be a leader of your own life.
Of course. If I go to a young man's room and I see the way he has even aligned his shoes, I tend to see that this man is rather leading himself. There are some, you enter into their room and their shoes are all scattered in the place. They are not in the position to lead themselves.
Right.
You know? So you need to really lead yourself first and take leadership roles. That is going to help you to harness your leadership skills in the marketplace. Communication. Very effective communication. A lot of people, young people nowadays, do not even know how to communicate. Some young people would just connect to me on maybe Facebook Messenger. They send me a message and they will say, "Hey, Oscar, I'm not your hey. I'm not your friend." Right?
It's not a hey matter.
Yeah, it's not a hey matter. WhatsApp, man. I'm not your WhatsApp, man. You see, we need to learn to communicate, especially if you really want to connect with somebody that you need help. You want the person to mentor you. You want the person to really guide you. You want the person who will skill your life to a particular level. You don't come with jargons. You come with official way of what?
Official language.
Official language.
Because I suppose that before I send you a message on WhatsApp, on Facebook, let's say, I might have gone through your profile.
Yes.
So I know the kind of person that I'm going to interact with. I hope that's how we should go.
Of course. But people don't do that. Somebody will send you a message, 12 midnight, "Can you please help me to get a job?" Do you think I'm going to respond?
I mean,
you see, we have to find a way. You see, for example, shorthand.
Yeah,
the shorthand that you are using to communicate, you don't expect me to understand. They have to be and these are simple things that puts people off. So they don't even come back to you to respond.
Exactly.
Because they know that you are not ready for what you want. And these are some of the things Train2inspire Consultancy is trying to harness the youth for them to understand. And we have got really a tailored program that we are bringing into the market. We have already done pilot projects with some departments already. We've done it in the UK for the last 10 years, and we want to bring it into my market. For example, negotiation.
Negotiation skills.
Negotiation skills. There are some people, they go to interview and they tell them, "Look, we are going to give you 500 Ghana cedis a month." And they just go back and thank God for it. Sometimes you can negotiate. Because sometimes when you negotiate, they tend to realize that, no, this guy knows what he wants in life. And this is the people that we want, because they are bold to ask what others cannot ask.
You want to pay me 500 Ghana cedis, but I think that with what I'm going to be doing and how much I'm going to be contributing to your company, I think you should give me 2,000. You should be able to bargain.
And before you realize, you can even break even. Then they say 1,000 Ghana cedis to start with, and after 6 months, based on your performance, you go to. We need to really learn these things. Most of the youth don't even have a clue. To be honest, they've got first class, they've got second upper, but they don't know these basic things that they need to survive in the market.
Okay. All right. So I think that if we want to go deep into this, I mean, prepare for the job market and some of the things you must know, is that we need a whole month or year to, it's not easy. But let's look at this one, quick one. Is there an alternative? Okay, so I want a job, and then it's not the job market is like the government sector can only absorb 2% of our graduates, and then. What is the alternative?
Before I go on that, there are some few points I want to raise based on what you need to do.
Okay.
And I want to talk about getting the relevant work experience. So, for example, you talked about NAPCO. Get into NAPCO, get the work experience.
So you need to volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer. That is what I was going to say next. You are ahead of me. You need to learn to volunteer. Yeah. Young people don't volunteer. I always tell them that if you want to get into the media space, get to Diaspora Network and tell them that, look, I want to serve you coffee. I want to help you to handle the cameras, right? Now the question is that if there is an opportunity, do you think they are going to look for somebody who is sitting at home?
You're already there.
You're already there. So get your foot in there. And that is the only way you can enter into your... Volunteering is key.
And it helps you prepare and build your CV and all that because you have that experience.
And you see, whenever any recruiter sees volunteering on your CV, they have a soft heart for you. Before you realize you are called for interview. Why? Because they believe that if you can devote your time for free, then you can devote your time more when you are paid.
Wow.
So we need to really get into volunteering. Then continuous professional development. Then the last one is the old school networking. Whom you know.
Okay.
Who do you know?
Yeah, it's about who you know.
Yeah, of course. I always tell people who is making the call on your behalf. There are some people, when they make a call on your behalf, you go and pick what is yours.
Exactly.
I call it the heavyweight calls.
So you need to have somebody who will make the heavyweight calls on your behalf.
And you see, people think that whom you know is only in Ghana. It's across the globe. United States, UK, whom you know is still there. But just that they go on it on a professional manner. It's everywhere. Who do you know? You need to start connecting with the right people. And now with the space of social media, it's easy for you to connect to people that on a normal space you will not be able to connect to.
Exactly. But with that, you have to get the right language.
The right language, the communication skills to really connect with them, you know. And these are some of the basic things that we teach. And before you come for our seminars and our trainings, look, you go equipped to understand how you can penetrate the market. So now back to your question, are there alternatives?
But before we come to the alternative bit of it, now while in school, some people do not take advantage of internship.
It's another thing.
But what is the importance of internship?
So internship is, now we talked about having the relevant experience, right? So if you are an engineer, let's say an electrical engineer, and you have got internship at Ghana Telecom or MTN or any company. Now 4 years internship programs, and somebody on their CV does not have even one. Now who has positioned himself or herself to get that job? It's very critical. And you have to understand that you have also got the understanding. You have got the experience in the industry already. So you integrate faster than anybody that has not even intended to get into internships. So internship is also very, very great.
So we are hearing it from Oscar Bimpong. Now we go to the alternatives.
Now the alternatives, I've got only two here that I really want to talk about. I know you are very conversational and you are ahead of time, so you can add more if you want to. Now work on your talent. Right? It's good to have the certificate. It's good to look for a job, but you can also make money or survive in the market with your talent.
Exactly.
Gone are the days when you wanted to be a musician, your parents will say no. Now every parent wants their child to be a musician because it's a very lucrative market. Exactly. When we were playing football, when we were very young, we were beaten. Now my dad will allow you to go and play football. He regrets probably for not allowing you to play football. So now, work on your talent.
This one.
Just leave school with the mindset that, look, you can also use your talent to break through the market. The question is, what talent do you have? I cannot identify it for you. You have to identify your talent. There is something about you. For me, for example, I've just harnessed my talent and I'm using it to penetrate the market.
Exactly.
Whatever I'm doing is a gift.
Whatever I'm doing is a gift.
I'm not using my degree to make money. I'm using my gift.
Degrees actually do not put money in the pocket.
Of course. just a paper, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
But when you get a job with your degree, now you have to prove that you're worth
that paper that you are holding, that you say you are good at it because they gave you the paper.
I think there should be a time that we will talk about talent, because people do not even know how to discover their talent, let alone develop their talent.
So I think I'm going to leave that one there.
Yeah, we need to have producer would work on that, and then we'll have a session on that.
Then you can also enter into the entrepreneurship space.
Exactly.
You see, a lot of people, when they think entrepreneurship, they think it's too much of a hard work. No, it's not. Now, let me break this down a little bit. Now, for you to enter into the entrepreneurship space, you see, the problems you solve is what people buy.
Okay.
People don't buy the problems you discuss, but the problems
so it should
you
be
solve.
Solution-driven.
Solution-driven. Now, you are wearing this shoe because somebody decided that when you put your feet on the ground, it's going to hurt. So I'm going to really put this shoe so that it's going to save your feet
from hurting.
And that is, that person has solved a problem. Now, people think there are no opportunities in Ghana. Ghana is difficult, it's challenging. Now, this is why I want to tell you, Africa has got the most problems in the world. And if you have got the most problems in the world, it means that we have got more problems to solve.
We are not finding solutions.
We are not finding solutions. You see, our market is a virgin market, meaning that you can come out with just one idea and nobody has even tapped it.
So a virgin market, yet you are not breaking the virginity of our market.
We are not breaking it. We are not breaking it. We are not breaking it.
All right, but we have a call on the line. Yes. Hello, good morning. Oh, sorry, we lost that caller. Yeah. You can call back.
Yes.
So break the virginity of the market. Yeah. Come up with an idea. Solve a problem.
Because we have got so much problems. So if you've got so much problems, that means that we have got the potential to solve it. And when we solve it, that is what people will buy.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the UK, Europe, and the Americas, they have solved their problems to a certain level. But here, most of our problems, 99%, are unsolved.
We've bagged our problems
to
a certain level.
So I always tell people that when you are walking, when you are driving, whatever you see, start thinking solutions. Somebody was staying in the UK. He decided to come to Ghana. He decided to come to Ghana, and when he came to Ghana, he realized that we have been drinking porridge, cocoa, in a certain way for a long time, and that person decided to add value to cocoa. And now that person has built a multi-dollar industry. Cocoa King I'm talking about, right? We have been drinking cocoa, but it never crossed our mind to add value to cocoa. I was speaking to young people, and I was saying that broom that we used to sweep, we have used it in this way for a long time. Can your broom be branded that it can be, you are going to use the Ghana flag?
There's a caller again. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
I'm watching TV.
Okay.
My name is Daniel.
Okay. Daniel, please speak up.
Hey, I like this program. It was very, very inspiring, but I still have to go with I'm a high school graduate.
Okay, you're a high school graduate.
High school, yeah. I wanted to pursue journalism, but my friends normally look at your background but there's no opportunity. So I want to broadcast advise me. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much, Daniel. But one thing I will tell you, Daniel, is that after the show, just around 10 a.m., call the number again, and I'll give you my personal number. Then we can look at how to connect with Oscar Bimpong, because definitely, yesterday I met some guy who says that I am a high school graduate and I was applying for a job at Star Times or what have you, but because I'm a high school graduate, I said, no, you don't need to look down on yourself. It's all about, it's not about the schooling certificate you hold, but it's about your intellectual ability, the knowledge you have here. So if you want to become a journalist after high school, what do you have to do? I think you'll go on the internet.
Yes.
You can do some self-studies.
Of course.
You can learn.
Yes.
And prepare for the market.
Of course.
Oh, is that not possible?
Now, you see, the point is that, you see, is Kwame Nkrumah wasn't a journalist, isn't it? By profession.
By profession he wasn't.
Yes, but he entered into the market and excelled.
Yeah.
Right? And as you said, now, big corporation, Fortune 500 companies, they are not looking at certificate, they are looking at talent.
Exactly.
Right? So somebody does not have knowledge in computer science, or he does not have certificate in computer science, but that person can code. So they now companies prefer that person who is self-taught, who understands better than the person who has got certificate but cannot code.
Oscar Bimpong, we have to bring you back again and then talk about some of these things, because it's important that we look at that and that we educate our viewers. It's so interesting that the guy is really enjoying the show. But now let's talk about your book.
Yes. So I have been in this space for just over a decade now, and I've done a lot of trainings for corporate, the informal sector, the young people, especially from even in the UK, African communities, then Caribbean communities, Ghana, our people, Africa, met with Nigerians, spoken in Nigerian churches. And I've got to realize that one of our biggest challenge is a mindset.
Okay.
Now, I delve deep into it and I realized that sometimes we think our problem is leadership.
But it isn't.
It isn't. It is mindset. Because every leadership stems from a mindset. So if we have been doing things in a particular way for far too long and we are getting the same results, then it's not leadership, but it's mindset. So when you tackle mindset, leadership will work well. So the book is titled Mindset Revolution.
Mindset Revolution.
Re-engineering the mind from prison to purpose. And the idea is that we want to change the mindset of this continent.
Okay.
We want to go back to the grassroots and teach children, young people, how they can develop the right mindset. Those adults like you, if you are ready to change, we will work with you. Because there is a saying that you cannot give an old dog a new name. Okay. So some people who have already grown, they will find it difficult to change their mindset. But some people are ready to change. We will work with them. Now, until the mindset of our people change, nothing changes.
Okay. So Oscar, is it currently on the market?
And it's not on the market. It's coming up probably by mid-year.
By mid-year.
And we are working on it. It's at the manuscript stage and they are working on it. So very soon, yes, it's going to come out.
I mean, before you officially launch the book,
yes.
I think we have to come sit down and talk about mindset.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's important that we change our mindset here. Yes. Because a lot is happening in our country, and is as a result, most of the problems we have is as a result of our mindset as a people.
Of course.
But I mean, in 2 minutes, you know what? We have you here on the Aspire Network Television. You've been out there in Europe. You've had a lot of programs training people. Now, in 2 minutes, share with us some experience outside Ghana.
So my experience outside Ghana is an amazing experience. And I think one day, probably when we have time, we can come and share this experience here. One of my experience, one of the things I want to share with people, because you see, we are talking about mindset, and one of the things I've realized is that our people don't want the truth. And initially, I didn't seek the truth. You see, when we wanted to travel, we thought that everywhere was supposed to be green. Okay. That there was a greener pasture that we are going to really feed on. But it doesn't work that way.
Right.
You see, when you advise people, they don't want to understand. And even now, it has become very difficult abroad. So what I always tell people is that now you need to seek knowledge. Don't just wake up and travel. Just go to the place for a visit for some time, then make a decision. Of course, there are some people that probably are struggling. They are maybe selling on the street, and they think that is what a door for them. But even with that, now it's a very challenging space that you don't just go and things happen like before. Before it was a bit easier, but now it's a very challenging space. And you see, until we do this education, and this is part of some of the trainings that we are going to do, that you see now you need to enter Europe or America legally.
Yeah.
Because these people have closed the borders in terms of you trying to survive illegally. It's become so challenging. And these are some of the things we want people to have. We want to open people's eyes. That you make your own decision whether it's good for you or not. As a graduate, do you want to go on hustle or go to school and come back?
Wow.
Or even after school, if you've got the opportunity to stay there, then you don't struggle or live about 10 years of your life hustling where you cannot make any impact, you cannot do the things you want to do with your life, and probably it might never even happen for you to even get your stay. How does this happen? I think we need to find time, and probably one day we really open up this space and try to really make people more informed so that they can really make decisions on their own.
All right. So thank you very much, Oscar Bimpong. He is he has stayed outside the country. He's a CEO. He's a founder. He's a mentor. He's an author. He's a television personality. He's a speaker. He's everything. And then I mean, we've really had a long chat today, and that we've learned a lot. And he's just informed us that you want to have an equal share of a meal. Make sure you put something on the table. We'll go for a quick break. Come back shortly. Stay with us. Still right.